Well, joining me now from Islamabad in Pakistan is Shehryar Fazli, who is a senior analyst and regional editor for the International Crisis Group. Welcome to the programme. Is Bangladesh becoming the main target for Daesh and a breeding ground for new terrorists?
Well, the role of Daesh in Bangladesh is still unclear. It certainly raises concerns about a major new entrant into the jihadist landscape of Bangladesh. But that role remains unclear, and certainly Daesh's claims to have carried out this attack have been met with significant amount of skepticism, both domestically and internationally. Amid the debate about the role of Daesh in Bangladesh, I think it's very important to remember that Bangladesh has a lot of homegrown self-styled jihadist groups that have been operating for many years now. That being said, there are new entrants in this field and new patterns of attacks. One group in particular, the Ansarullah Bangla team, also known as Ansarul Islam, which has been around only for a few years, has been conducting these attacks against bloggers, publishers, other symbols of secularism and liberalism, mostly focused in Dhaka. Meanwhile, outside of Dhaka, in the countryside, a long-standing jihadist group, the Jamaatul Mujahideen Bangladesh, the JMB, which now reportedly does have links to Daesh, has been targeting religious and sectarian minorities, including the Hindu community. And let's not forget that the same day this siege on the cafe happened, another Hindu priest was hacked to death. So the targets are expanding. The challenge is growing, and this is a reminder that the government better get serious.
This was a horrific attack where the hostages were held for more than 10 hours. It happened, as we know, in a diplomatic area. How easy would it have been for those militants to get access to that area, to carry out that siege, and why did it take the government so long to respond?
Well, the area is not particularly secured in the sense that there's not a major, security presence around a lot of, checkpoints. Unlike where I live in Islamabad, the diplomatic enclave is an entirely separate enclave. You need high-level, clearance to get access to it. So in that sense, reaching this site was not all that difficult. I'll say something about just the government's general approach to this challenge, which has been very heavy-handed, unaccountable. Recently, there was a week-long ostensible crackdown on militant groups where some 14,000 people were reportedly arrested, but very little information about who was detained and whether they're still in custody, whether they're being investigated. The opposition has accused the government of targeting opposition activists primarily in that crackdown, while civil society groups have been alleging police extortion and abuses. This is not a problem that's going to be solved through heavy-handed, paramilitary-style operations. This is one that requires intelligence gathering, investigation, with the public as a partner, and that's not what we have right now in Bangladesh.
This was a tragic loss of life for those people involved in this siege, but also a disaster in terms of PR for Bangladesh. The government's always denied the existence of Daesh. What do they need to do to reassure people both in and outside of the country that they are tackling this problem?
You're absolutely right. They've sent very mixed messages. They have repeatedly, consistently accused the main political opposition, the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, of killings of bloggers and religious minorities, while at the same time saying that if you're a blogger who has offended religious sentiment, we can't be held responsible for the consequences. So to regain public confidence, it has to be very clear on the nature of this threat, and it has to be clear about how it intends to bring those responsible to account, and not use this as a not politicize the issue and blame your political opposition.
Okay, Shehryar Fazli, thank you very much for joining us.